My name is Scott Nielsen. I'm a professor from the University of Alberta, and I started looking at grizzly bear habitat 24 years ago, and we noticed quite quickly that grizzly bears were using the cup locks. And the cup locks are basically these early cereal forest conditions that are rich in shrub layers and fruiting species and herbaceous species and rooting species that grizzly bears use. So unlike other studies across North America and some parts of Europe, we found that grizzly bears use these harvest blocks, these cup locks, quite a bit, especially at different times of the year, early in the spring, and especially midsummer when the fruiting species like buffalo berry ripen. So this particular project is funded by FRIA through the Foothills Research Institute. We're going back to some of those same cup locks, and we're looking at what has changed, and we're also adding a couple new questions. And one of those questions is, to what degree are these harvest blocks both intercepting light but also warming the early spring conditions faster than the forests? And that's one thing we noticed 25 years ago, was that bears tended to start using the harvest blocks early in the spring, early in the summer, and phenologically the development of the plants seemed to be advanced by a week or two in the cup locks versus the forest. So we now have temperature data loggers in the cup lock, on the cup lock edge, and into the forest as a forest control. And we're looking at both the food supply for bears, the vegetative food supply like fruit, roots, things like this, dandelions, other things they would eat, as well as that difference in temperature, especially early in the summer. So this study is going back, looking at what we have done in the past, assessing change, and also adding some things that we never quite finished answering 25 years ago on the reasons why grizzly bears are using these cup locks. And the ultimate goal is to also develop some tools for forest planning to identify at what level, all the way down to the bioenergetic kind of perspective of bears, how much food supply may boost the overall local population or local density and support bears. There's always the concern of roads in forestry, but with proper management of those roads, these early cereal conditions and cup locks actually can be quite valuable for grizzly bears.